Come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Boom Bar. My name is Shola Rogers.
My name is Ola Dolupo.
Please excuse me.
And like I said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening to us from on the face of the earth. It is another wonderful time right here at the bar. How was your weekend? I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, it was very interesting. We know that over the weekend we saw there's a lot of Olympics games going on.
And Salamit.
Yeah. Speaking of salami too, I have salami too. No, you just said it. I do. I actually do. And then
And the elections.
yeah, the elections. Ogun State had elections, which, according to INEC now, they've even gotten certificate of return.
Oh, yeah.
Ogun State is really fast. Ogun State is really fast. Lagos State has not concluded yet, and we also have news about PDP alleging that there's a lot of things going on in Lagos State. Over the weekend as well, Big Brother Niger started.
Yes, so.
Started again, and there's plenty news. And they did something very what's it called this time. They brought them in batches. So they actually had two different opening ceremonies. They had
On
one
Saturday
on Saturday
and on
Eventually
Sunday.
the guys came in, so the guys had been there for a whole day before the ladies came in. So,
So,
it is what it is. Over the weekend, what else happened over the weekend? Okay, yes, Australia beat Osiki in basketball. Sad.
can we move on and not even
Really
talk about
sad.
anything that has to do with Australia?
But at this point, you should not worry. We are coming back to the bank. Not like I'm saying that to my full chest, but
It's a banger.
it's a bank. And you people, guess what? My day or my week or my August just got made.
August.
Yes.
In July.
Yes. So exactly from 1 month from today,
Mm-hmm.
guess what is released? Just have a wild guess.
Jesus Christ.
Have
King
a
of Boys has
wild
made you
guess.
into this thing.
Oh my god.
It's King of Boys that's making you do like
Yes.
this.
Aren't you surprised that I'm not jumping?
Yeah, I'm glad you're not.
Exactly.
I'm not sure the chair can
For people
cope.
that know me, know that I'm a huge King of Boys and I'm a huge Kemi Adetiba fan. And I've been forever. Like, we know that they've shot this since last year. We're like, okay, we get it. Can we just, Now, they've also announced that it's just not a movie. It's actually a 7-part series. And I'm like, okay.
Shebi is on Netflix.
Yeah, it is actually coming on Netflix. So, as in that, like,
I'm okay.
So it's like Nigeria's Netflix very first series, like the commissioned series. So I'm like, you know what? Any bad idea at all. At least I don't have to go to cinema. Right in the comfort of my house. And I'm watching it. So yes, that's also making me very, very excited. But
It's actually something worth being excited about, knowing that when it comes to making movies, Kemi Adetiba is up there with the greatest of them all.
yeah,
If there were ever any group of world's best movie makers out of Nigeria,
yeah.
Kemi
yeah,
Adetiba will sit there comfortably,
I totally
if not
agree.
be the one to admit people in.
Wow.
She's that good.
I
respect
think I
her work.
respect her work. Yes,
I respect her work a lot. Kemi and my good friend.
She's grown. They've grown. They've actually grown, evolved.
Kunle.
Yes,
Afolayan, I think
they're
that-
doing amazingly well. There are few of them that you can rest easy when you hear that this person is releasing a movie. And so, let's come to today's issue. Basically, today we're just talking about a lot of court cases. I was just going to put that there to just let us rest easy a little bit, but because the courts have been really busy today, and actually the reason why they were busy today is because
Holiday
they're
is
officially
coming.
going.
Holiday is coming.
The Federal High Court has officially begun its vacation today. So they had to get a lot of things. And this vacation is going to start today, and it's going to end on the Friday 17th, which means court activities will resume on the 20th of September. So now they said that according to them, the chief registrar of the court has said that some courts in Abuja, Lagos, and Port Harcourt divisions will still remain functional to cater for cases of extreme urgency during this period.
Good news. I still feel that this system has to be eradicated and that judges should be allowed to go on annual leave.
So apparently, according to them, even as they have leaves, it looks like there are judges that are assigned as vacation judges.
Mm-hmm.
So for the courts that are open, there's still going to be courts open, and there are going to be vacation judges that are supposed to be in place during that time.
So like I said again, if we can have vacation judges, why can't we just have a regular system
and when everybody goes on leave at different times, like a regular office? I agree with you.
The judiciary goes on this summer break, the legislature goes on summer break. Can the people who
the executive, do they go? No, they don't.
No, they can't. Can the people who they work for
go
on summer break?
Exactly. It's even far. Can regular civil servants go on these holidays? No, they don't. But it is what it is. But before they went on break, there are a lot of court cases that went on today. As first things first, at the Federal High Court today, there was the resumption of trial of Nnamdi Kanu.
Mm-hmm.
It was said that it was a whole lot of security. There was a lot of things that happened because first, there was a lot of security. A lot of people got arrested as they were coming to chant and solidarize with their leader. In fact, 2 Americans got arrested today by the DSS. It was alleged that they were taking pictures of the court from their hotel, which is directly across the court.
One of the stories that I saw today about this Nnamdi Kanu court case is that only 10 media houses were accredited.
Yes, that there were only 10.
So what does that tell you?
Okay.
If you require accreditation for coverage, anybody else that is doing any form of coverage is contravening a law.
I saw that news. I even saw it yesterday, and I have a problem with it because I won't call it a problem. It's just kind of, I will just need a bit of understanding to it. And the truth is that if every single media house is allowed into the courtroom, looking at the sensitivity of this case and security issues surrounding this case, how would it be easy to because anybody can print something and write press now. How would it be easy to be sure of the safety of the judge, the defendant, the lawyers? Because they too need to be safe. How are we sure of the security of these people? That's where I'm a little I know that a lot of people have been going on to yesterday that why is it that some people got accredited, some people didn't. And I saw that list actually, and in fact I saw that it was everybody on that list were all would I say established media houses.
And that's the way it works. There are different categories in banking. There are banks that are certified to carry out certain roles, and there are banks that can't carry out certain roles. They don't have the capacity to do this and that. That's the way it works. That's the truth. Today, everybody is a journalist. The world we live in today, everybody is a media house. One single person is a media house.
Yeah, exactly.
This media, that media. So, even if it's just for COVID-19 protocols alone, you have to regulate. But this is a case that is highly sensitive.
Yeah.
It's a case that has to do with security. So, I don't have a problem with them accrediting only 10 media houses. I think it's a normal thing in a situation
I saw
like
a lot
this.
of people going off on it, and I'm like, okay, I don't see the anger there. Like,
Let me tell you, there's a bad place that some people have found themselves. Being a critic doesn't mean you have to critique
you have
everything.
to critique everything, yeah. Like,
Let me say it
can we
clearer
be-
because of my issues with my tongue. Being a critic doesn't mean you have to critique everything. There are times when you just need to let things go. There are times when you need to speak from a point of information and strength.
and I'm like,
a lot of you
at
don't even
times,
understand
can we
the
be
basics.
in trying to be critical of a lot of things. I
Mhm.
think that the problem with a lot of people, in my opinion though, is that or the basis of what I understand about criticism is being objective. I think that a lot of people are not objective. A lot of people see everything and they feel a need to critique everything. That's it for me.
What you are explaining, Dolupo, is analysis. Most of the critics that you're referring to have an agenda.
That's what I'm saying. Like, can we be objective?
The objectivity will come from someone who wants to analyze objectively, who has no agenda, and who would also prefer a solution. But you see, most of the people you see out there, one, they're either people who support this government blindly and they would never say anything wrong with what the government does, or people who hate this government extremely and they will never say anything good that the government does. You get? So that's what we're being fed. That's what we're being fed.
That's what I'm saying, because I'm like,
you would see.
I saw that thing yesterday, and a lot of people have been going on about it. I'm like,
you will see an
what's
headline.
wrong with this issue?
You will see an
please?
headline, and for then again, of course, you know the professionals who will stay in the middle. You will see an headline like there's something about Patani, the head of Nigeria's communications ministry, and one online platform said terrorism tainted something extends SIM card registration.
Do we need all that? Do you really need all that jump?
Now, a foreign media house writing on the same story I saw it this morning, says Nigeria extends SIM card registration. Do you see? Same story. Another media house with federal government extends.
So I'm like,
But the first platform, if I don't mention their name, I'm sure you will guess out of, it's one of two.
Yeah. And I'm like,
So,
and you know the funny thing is that at times we say that government wants to gag, what's it called? Do I agree with that? A lot of things that
There's nothing
the
wrong with
government
regulation.
is doing.
There's nothing
I
wrong with
think that
regulation.
there's some things
Gagging
that
is wrong. Regulation is fine.
They're overdoing. I agree. But also, I think that a lot of media houses purposely put themselves in a position whereby that they always look like they're fighting the government.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, all media houses, in my own understanding, what you're supposed to do is give the news to people. But now, every media house has an opinion. I'm like, that's not what I was taught in broadcasting school. You're not supposed to have an opinion. But I'm like, it is what it is. It is what it is. The way a lot of people do. I'm still talking about Nnamdi Kanu's case. Right now, as of today, we know that the case has been adjourned to October. 2 reasons. Of course, Nnamdi Kanu did not appear in court, and DSS refused to bring him to court for reasons best known to them. According to them, they said it's logistics. I don't understand that. Is that you don't have car that to bring him? You don't have Black Maria that will bring him? Or you people that came from DSS, what did you enter? Is it Keke Napep that you entered? Because I don't understand.
Well, their mode of transportation does not imply that it's the same mode that they will require for Nnamdi Kanu's movement. Again, logistics is beyond transportation. And again,
no, that's what I'm saying. It's just vague. That's very vague.
Vague is good for them. In their line of work, they do not divulge too much information. I remember when I saw a tweet, I think it was by the FBI or it was the CIA, that we can neither deny or confirm that this is our first tweet. Meanwhile, that was the first tweet from that handle. But they said they can neither deny or confirm. It was so funny. But again, that's what they do. They don't have to deny or confirm anything that they don't have to. They will only divulge information when they are forced by law to do it. So I get where they're coming from, and we don't have access to some of the
information that they
are privy to and all of that. I still say, like many Nigerians have said, that Nnamdi Kanu deserves his day in court.
Oh yes,
it should be allowed.
Yes,
it should be allowed to defend himself.
I agree.
He should be allowed access to his lawyers and his family members, you know. And if your case is strong, then bring it. Let the world say.
So right now, according to the courts, also because Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers have been, they also prayed to the court today that he should be moved. Of course, you know that he was not going to be granted bail. And I like the fact that they're not even asking for bail. I know that they're I'm sure they know that they are way past that now. They're asking that he should be moved from the DSS custody to Kuje prison. Unfortunately, the judge actually didn't threw that out and said that he's going to be in DSS custody until I think October 21st or something, when the case is brought back. Then they can have a discussion about it. Now, PDP loyalist and I think spokesperson at the point turned human rights activist, Deji Adeyonju, has actually now come out to say that Department of State Services, that's DSS, has failed to bring the IPOB leader to court because they do not have a case against him. Keeping in mind that also today, what's his name? Omoyele Sowore, politician also turned activist. Oh no, activist turned politician, then turned activist. Also was arrested, but then was later released after he and a few other people and a lot of other IPOB people came to court to come and show their solidarity to. And my question is Sowore an Igbo name?
What's that got to do with anything?
I thought Igbos were the ones fighting for Biafra, and the indigenous people of Biafra are Igbos.
Yeah, he's allowed to show solidarity, freedom of association. But okay.
Feels very close to the case, right?
The people who were arrested at the Yoruba Nation rally, there were one or two Igbo names on that list that was released last week. So there's a lot of solidarity between the Sowore people and the Yoruba Nation people and the IPOB people. So, and again, we do not forget quickly the meetings that they had. They had meetings, they took pictures together, you know, they said they were going to work together.
So basically,
at least the videos are out there.
Yeah, so now, at least the people that they've arrested, they've officially released them. But Moyele Sowore is been released, but Nnamdi Kanu is back in DSS. No, he didn't leave DSS custody. He actually did leave DSS custody. When you think about it, he didn't leave DSS custody, but the case has now been adjourned to October, and of course we know that reasons because from today now the courts, federal courts, are actually on vacation. Now, still talking about the courts are really in news today.
Courts are busy.
As Lagos police have charged 48 suspects arrested during the Oodua Republic demonstration around the Ganifa Park at Ojota a few weeks ago. They've been charged, the Commissioner of Police specifically charged the suspects with unlawful assembly, unlawful society, and conduct likely to cause breach of public peace. It was said that some of the suspects that the police arrested that day were found with guns, axes, Oodua flags, Yoruba Armed Forces vests, and other items.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the police might have, not might have, seems to have concluded their investigations for them to arrive.
Oh yeah, they're
at this
definitely in court.
So I think it's also a good thing that these people will get a chance to defend themselves in court and let the world know their own side of the story. We've only had the allegations against them now, and of course it's not anything until the court actually says it's so. It's okay to allege, it's okay to charge, but you have to prove it.
You have to definitely prove it. And talking about these people also, out of 48 of them, one person's bail has been revoked as he has been charged with murder.
One of them
who is by the name of Tajuddin Bakari, has been charged with murder. And guess who the mother is? The mother of the lady that died at the police. We know that last week.
That's the lady whose autopsy shows that she was
actually shot. And now the police is sticking to their story that no bullet was shot by them, but that they have now charged Tajuddin Bakari, who has identified himself as the chief of the Ogboni fraternity, for the death of Jumoke Oye Leke.
Wow. What I would not like is for you to charge someone for something they didn't do. For you to charge someone with murder, you must have.
I'm sure that they should definitely have some serious evidence.
Yeah, you must have proof, and you must prove it beyond reasonable doubt that the guy actually committed murder. And okay, so you start to wonder, why did they zero in on one particular person of the 37 or 40 something
They also
people
said
that
that
were
the court
arrested?
said that this man's case is going to be transferred to the director of public prosecutor for further what's it called, for further case adjourning. But right now they have released them. They of course, we know that they're on bail. But
have they met the bail condition?
I'm not
because
sure that
again, granting someone bail doesn't mean that the person leaves.
Yes,
that's one thing that people need to get. Because once it's been granted bail, can he meet the bail conditions? Some people, it takes them days or weeks to perfect. Excuse me, to perfect their bail. So we need to know.
Still on the issue of court cases, and we're going all the way to Akwa Ibom State, where Uduak Akpan, I don't know if anybody knows that name, is the person that had confessed to killing Ini Ubong Umoren,
the young
Akwa Ibom graduate that was lured
under the guise of
for a job interview and all that, who she was murdered. He's been arraigned in the state high court in Uyo today, and he has pled guilty to the charges against him. He actually pled guilty to killing, but he had pled not guilty to the charge of rape.
He pled guilty to killing.
Yes.
So that means it's an open and short case.
So he's pleaded guilty to murder, but because there's a lot of cases, because it's the Akwa Ibom state government that is charging to court.
The amount of charges, amount of counts.
So he's pled guilty to. He pleaded guilty to murder, but pleaded not guilty to the charge of rape. Okay, so
which one is?
Okay, she was raped and then you saw her and they killed her. Because I don't get.
Which one is more grievous yourself? Which one carries?
Of course,
the murder is. I think in Nigeria it's still by death penalty, right?
Most of the time these days, not really anymore. Most of the time they do.
Are you sure? Because
a lot of times these days
we're not talking manslaughter here. We're talking murder.
No, murder, yes, because I think that the idea of I'm talking about murder
in
and
Nigeria.
What's it called? I don't know if you saw that story. It was over the weekend where the Minister of Interior, apparently the Ministry of Interior is the one in charge of prisons. This was where I think on Friday they had just built a new headquarters, and for the the Minister of Interior was opening the new headquarters for the Nigerian Correctional Service, and he was talking about how he was asking state governors to sign death warrants of over 3,000 people in jail that is causing. Those are part of the reasons that
Congestion.
Congestion. Like
Prison
people have been
congestion,
there for years. They've been what's it called? They have given them the death warrant for years. Why are you still keeping them alive? Well, he actually also talked about feeding and keeping these people. They're not supposed to be there. And you know what? It might sound a little morbid, but it's the truth. Why are you keeping them?
So there's going to be like a mass.
No, he was urging
mass
because it's like that.
Execution.
He's claiming that state governors it's almost like they don't like signing death warrants. To be honest, I don't think
but it's part of their job.
Part of it. I get it. I'm just saying that let's also look at it. I'm not sure that it's something that anybody would enjoy doing. But the way it is, I think that it's how did we even get to prison matter? Anyway, still talking about courts.
But,
the courts,
for instance, something, is it the prerogative of mercy or something? There's this power that governors wield, right? Like for Salah or whatever, or maybe it was just coincidental. Last week,
it was for Salah.
Ganduje released about 200 and something. You get what they need to do is go through. You hear of cases. I have a friend who is an advocate for prison decongestion, Lamborghini, and he tells us of how they get to prison and you find that some people are being held on something that has to do with them just paying a fine of maybe 10 or 15K and they'll be released. Then you keep it in prison for years. Do you get what I'm saying? They need to get all those kind of people out. People who are being held back by their inability to pay fines. People whose time
is it even cheaper?
Lapsed.
Let's even be honest.
You can't pay your 15K fine, but you will feed him.
And then you are feeding him for. Do you understand?
And you're also depriving him of his ability to contribute
to the economy. So I'm like, isn't it cheaper to just,
Some people, their crime, maybe the maximum sentence is 7 years, and they're awaiting trial for that long. And then when they get to court and then everything, but he's already can't even sentence them anymore because they've already spent that time.
And then you're taking someone back into society, and that's at times that's why there's a lot of crime, because the person already feels some type of way in the first place. So it's a very, so there isn't any form of rehabilitation involved in those things at all. So it's a very sad one though. But let's move on. We're still talking about court cases. So now that guy's case is still in court.
That's the one in Uyo.
The one in Uyo is still in court. And talking about court cases, we're back to Lagos, which there's a very controversial case that actually also started today, and it's the issue of the Baba Jesha's case. And now it has also been said that this case, of course, a lot of people, this one too brings a lot of memories and a lot of there's a lot of media attention on this particular case too, where in fact later on a
movie.
No, we're not there yet. I said
Okay.
a video surfaced where he was actually caught in the act trying to molest a 14-year-old, and there were allegations where he had done this about 7 years ago and blah 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 and that, and then he was charged to court. And now the Lagos State Special Offences Court has of today adjourned the case up until tomorrow, after the counsel for the plaintiff played primary evidence against the actor. So looks like it's a very this is going to be a very fast case, as they did all that today, and by tomorrow the case is continuing tomorrow. But before we leave that issue, the Lagos State Director of Public Prosecution has said that it's going to prosecute a Nollywood actor, Yomi Fabiyi, for contempt of court over airing a movie about the facts of a case under judicial consideration. The Lagos State Director of Public Prosecution had today told an Ikeja Special Offences Court that Yomi Fabiyi had produced a movie titled Okoyabo based on the court proceedings of June 24, 2021. It was said that he actually also, the movie which was aired after the proceedings, breached the judge's directives by revealing sensitive information about the case, which is before a court. According to them, said despite warnings of this honorable court, an actor, Yomi Fabiyi, went ahead and made a movie about the facts of the case. He used real names of parties and witnesses in this matter in the movie. Our application is to exclude him, his privies, and his agents from the proceedings in court. He's not in court at the moment, but his representative must be in court.
Okay.
This is contempt of the court, and we intend to prosecute and bring him before this court.
Let's talk about it. Remember.
And immediately,
No,
sorry, before
no, I know. That's why I'm actually stopping you. I don't want us to read. I want us to discuss it.
I just wanted to finish.
It's deliberate.
Okay.
We have had this discussion on this table more than once, and one word kept on coming out. We're not lawyers, but we know what it means to be sub judice.
Yeah.
And the guy in question, Yomi Fabiyi, kept on telling people that he had not broken any law and he knew what he was doing. Now, the judge in this matter actually confirmed that they had been warned. Because I remember one of them kept on saying that they had been told not to talk about the case in public anymore. Sub judice, simple definition, under judicial consideration and therefore prohibited from public discussion elsewhere. You can only discuss this matter in
the
court. In court. The defense for Baba Ijesha is also the defense for Yomi, the same lawyer, more or less, because that lawyer said in court today that he saw the video on YouTube, confirming that yes,
there is a video,
a movie, and that the movie had been recorded before the court case, and that also it's between the two supporters in the case. You see where I'm going? Yeah, that Fabi is on one side and Iyabo Ojo is on the other side. Now, a case that they said is sub judice.
Even if he had been
if
recorded,
it had recorded before,
you shouldn't have brought it
out. Should you release it? Were you supposed to release the video?
This had a part where it was reenacted, a part where it's supposed to be evidence in court, which up till now we don't even know how that video got released in the first place. And then you went ahead, reenacted that part. You claim that, okay, let's even assume it was done before the case in court. The minute a judge says something like
you
that,
you
withhold it.
So what Mr. Yomi Fabiyi did was to, like we said, it was cashing in on this popularity of this case. I'd never heard of this guy until all of this. Never heard of him. But now we're discussing him.
No, I think that it's time.
And that's what he has cashed in on. He has made money. And I think he's going to pay for it. Because now, there's going to be a case on this matter.
Yes,
the judge has said that they should investigate.
Yes, they should investigate immediately. And I think that it is high time.
Damning evidence.
It's high time we need to test the courts. We people can't just be doing things and we just move on, especially when it comes to cases like rape And not just rape. When children are involved.
You said
I know
cases
that
like rape. We don't have a strong judiciary system. As much as I like to respect the judiciary, okay, there's a law in Nigeria that says people should not spray money.
Yeah.
All the people that have sprayed money, what has happened to
What
them?
has happened? I agree with
There's
you.
a law in Nigeria about indecent exposure. A Nigerian artist shot a music video with half-nude women in a glass truck driven all around some part of Lagos. What has happened?
I get what you're
A
saying.
Nigerian artist
What
flew
I'm
during
trying to say.
COVID when they said there was no movement to Abuja to perform. What happened? And there are laws against these things. So look, let's be honest with ourselves. We know that the judges are doing a good job. They are trying their best. But how well are we enforcing the existing laws of this land?
That's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say
And that's
is
why
that
people will still keep committing
when it
crime.
comes to children, especially, I think that we all. I don't want to go back to the fact that it was completely unethical. You know, if let's even assume you are fighting with your colleague, have whatever it is issues you have with your colleague, but you had to go all the way and involve an innocent child. I think it is ridiculous. It is inhumane. It is, and I really hope that the Lagos State actually follows this through. He definitely needs to be charged to court. And also, talking about it, this particular case, the Special Offences Court today had admitted the CCTV footage submitted by Princess as evidence against the actor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're getting somewhere. And of course, and it's one thing for you to submit it, is another thing for the court to admit it. So it's official now. That is now evidence, which it is probably part of a video that you decided to
replicate.
Oh my god! I'm not even.
Thereby, basically throwing the case in jeopardy. And I'm sure no judge in the world.
It's even an insult
even
on the judge.
After basically putting it out there that in case you don't understand how the law works, you're not to discuss this anymore in public. And you've done that. And you're a part of the case. You're a principal witness, or you're the...
No, you've automatically added yourself to the case.
Now they're going to open a separate case
Yes.
of contempt in this guy's matter. And, you know, he kept on abusing people. Even when one of the guild of actors, the group that was seen to be inactive in his matter, came out and asked him to come for a meeting. He called their bluff and talked down at them. Now his own group, they're all implicated because they all acted in this movie. They should all be charged for contempt too. Every single one of them. And at the end of the day,
every single one of them, I agree.
At the end of the day, what happens to that little girl?
Now it is all over. As much as a lot of people say
you
that
even try to portray the girl as a sexual predator of sorts, like she was the one that was coming on to this old man.
He said it a few times. There's a lot of videos that he put out.
And that there's relationship between them.
And I think that
you should not go and delete those videos. I hope people have started recording them.
And I think this is where the problem is. Like, I don't think a lot of people understand that when it comes to a minor, there's nothing like consent.
None.
You cannot have a relationship with a minor.
No, you can't.
There's nothing like that. And I think this the misconception a lot of people have. There's nothing like having. It's not consent. Once a minor is involved, it is statutory rape. And I think that's the problem with it. A lot of people are very warped minded that the fact that, other than the fact that you realize that this person is a child, the law does not allow it. Because I don't get it. I don't get it where you come off to say that a child has a relationship with a grown man. Uncle, you're in your 40s. Are you telling me, girl, you did not find girls between the age of 18 and 40 something, which is your age, in that age bracket to date? Or to, let's even assume.
Is it that difficult for you?
Is it really, really that difficult?
And if it is, then you have a problem. and it's not here that they're going to solve it for. It's in court. You know, you have actually put yourself in a very delicate place.
It's very, very, very.
I feel very bad for the parents of the child and the girl herself. Then the kind of trauma that everybody close to her will be going through at the moment. You see, this girl, if not properly taken care of, will be scarred for life.
For life. It's. I think that I don't know. I'm never.
I wish she could get a change of scene.
I feel that they are always scarred for life. I just feel that with a little bit of help is not as bad as without getting help at all.
Yeah,
that's what I just
so
feel. Which
with,
I think
with
that
all the people surrounding Princess and the girl's parents, I hope someone strong enough will come to their rescue and at least maybe
help this little girl.
Yeah, she really needs a lot of help now. We will not talk about what happens to Baba Jesha. We'll only follow the case as it.
We'll follow the case, and it looks like the case is going to be very fast.
But we were more concerned
with the lady, with the
about
girl.
the
No,
victim.
she's not a lady. She's actually a girl.
A girl. You see, we
child.
keep blaming the victim. This is my biggest issue. This is the problem. This child, even the video proves that she's the victim.
You saw how he kept on coming on to her
victim.
and coming on to her. And I'm wondering,
and you now say people don't report rape after it happens.
How
they're going to report it when you
rape?
are there
I really,
telling them that their word doesn't count.
Yeah. I'm and the fact that you can imagine how even the fact this CCTV that was video that was made, how they literally had to make a video to stage something so that put the girl through trauma, so that they can have evidence. Is that bad?
And again, what Yomi Fabi's video or movie did was also to try to twist logic on his head, try to influence. Because imagine if there was a jury.
Yeah.
But now what they did was to influence the court of public opinion. Because I took time to read comments on that guy's thread, and I wept. In fact, there's a guy I know who lives around here. I saw his name. You know when your friend comments on something?
Yeah, you see they're the first.
And I looked at and I'm like, wow. This is how this person thinks. I would never have figured him for that kind of person. So he actually dropped about 3 different comments on 3 different videos that the guy did. Because for me, it is research. I really want to confirm what they said you said. I need to hear it with my own ears and see that the video is not doctored. And in everything that Yomi Fabi did, he was more or less like roping himself in. But he felt he was on a roll. You know, he has a blue tick on Instagram. People are mentioning his name. He's trending. He's gone viral. His video is getting several hits. He started, you know, putting it on other platforms when YouTube removed it because it was reported. You know, and this is the problem. He has benefited from it.
He has. I hope he
pays.
I really hope that he pays. And finally, before we leave the courts, we're going to Benin Republic. We know that we don't know what is happening there at the moment. But as of this morning, the lawyer to Mr. Sunday Adeyemo, Sunday Igbo, has come out to say that, who's the spokesperson, has come out to say that the operatives of Benin Republic had removed his length chain and his handcuffs since Saturday evening, that he's now been allowed to talk to his wife, that his wife now has access to him 3 times a day, and that they've also allowed medical personnel provided by their own legal team to examine Sunday Igbo. Also, he has said that he's not in case to face any immigration-related probe in Benin Republic, but likely extradition charges to be brought against him.
Well, I just, if I can advise his team, focus on the charges. Forget the politics, forget all the noise around you people, because the kind of comments you hear people who claim to be on Sunday Igboho's team make, you start to wonder, like, do they really care about Sunday Igboho's safety and his freedom? You understand?
Because if you're not careful, you're probably digging him in a bigger hole. And before we move on to something else, now the president had departed Abuja for a global education summit in the UK, and also used that opportunity to go for his medical checkup that he did not go for like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and of course the meeting is about education, global education funding and all of that. They're supposed to get world leaders to sign a 5-year deal that would see to the funding of education. But he's also scheduled to meet with the Prime Minister, because not every time that he goes to the UK does he even have anything.
Of course.
We're scheduled to meet with the Prime Minister of Britain, and I think, apart from any other thing, they're going to discuss the Nnamdi Kanu matter and everything. And
So
I'm sure a lot of people would be planning. No, they will even be planning their protest and all of this and all of this.
How's that one? You people are going to be yeah, hold on that one. But now there was a video that I saw. I don't know if you came across that video. Last week there was a story about how Ibano supermarket in Abuja caught fire, and the whole supermarket basically was like a mini mall actually got burnt down. Now a CCTV video had been released today. I don't know if you saw it.
I've seen headlines, but I have not seen the video.
I actually watched the video. A lady, they're still unidentified, actually went to the section where they, those gas lighters, gas cooker lighters, opened one and actually removed it and actually burnt and then lit it and turned and left it burning.
Wow.
There was actually a video, and I watched that video, and that video did not look doctored.
Wow.
She actually lit it on some carton and then just stepped out of the place.
A member of staff?
Nobody knows her yet. Would I say that they have not?
Ebano people wear uniforms. Was she wearing a uniform?
No, I don't know. She wasn't.
Okay. Still doesn't mean she wasn't a member of staff.
She went there, and it was directly under where cylinders.
Isn't that dangerous?
Yeah, there's actually a video. There is a video. I actually watched that video.
Now, the thing is her face very visible?
No, it's not. It was just like the CCTV that took her was from the back. So it was her side view and her back.
I saw a CCTV video.
Yeah.
I'm just going to bring this into pro point. Last week, some person went to a shop in Ibadan and stole something. Just in broad daylight, you get. And I need to ask a question. Dear Nigerians, when you install your CCTV,
is there anybody monitoring it? Exactly.
Because there's nobody monitoring. That's one.
Yeah.
Two, even if you're going to recall events, can somebody advise us to bring our camera levels down? Since you already know I'm recording you anyway, let me see their faces. Putting those things there was for whatever reason aesthetic, so I don't care. Bring it to face level.
Because I'm sure that if there were people watching at that time, that fire wouldn't have been that bad.
Yes. Then
because
again, for you to catch the perpetrator
was raised.
For you to be able to catch perpetrators of crimes,
yeah.
You see all the CCTV videos and the face
what's the
of
point?
of the person doesn't show, and you see them they're stealing something, and people are running commentaries and everybody's sharing the video on social media. Can you help us catch this person? And the person never gets caught. You know why? Your cameras are up there and they are useless. Bring them down to face level. Bring the cameras down to the doorpost. Bring it down to the counter.
Yeah.
Yes, I am recording you. If you are not a criminal, you will not be afraid that I'm recording you.
Yeah.
So this way you can actually see people's faces. You know, blow it up, get the pictures and share.
I agree with you. It was just very sad. I'm like, okay.
So why did she do that? That's arson.
That's arson. And you know the bad part for also them too is that when it comes to insurance and all those things,
I hope they are insured because
they're insured
the Abano chain. The Abano chain is a big one.
It's a big one.
Brand.
It is.
They're all over Lagos and other parts of Nigeria. I would not want to believe that they don't have comprehensive insurance for that kind of business. It would be very sad.
And moving on from that, let's go to Rivers State, where angry youths of Eleme in Rivers have shut down the Eleme axis of the east-west road in Port Harcourt, leaving hundreds of passengers and commuters stranded early this morning. Basically, they're claiming that the government did not fix the portion of the road, which is really, really, really bad.
Yeah, Eleme is popular for the petrochemical industry. I think there's supposed to be a plant or something at Eleme. So you get, so the Eleme Junction, of course, is a very vital place. And again, the East-West Road is a popular road. Ask people who live in Port Harcourt and that access, they will tell you how important that road is. Why is it not getting that kind of attention? I remember again that one of the governors said he was building a super highway. You know?
It was?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening to that. Then, yeah, we know federal government is supposed to be build trunk A roads, but again, state governments should know that the people also employ them. You can now we know that you get reimbursed. Governor Wike got
about I think 70
something
billion
reimbursement for fixing federal roads.
Yeah,
you know,
I think
of course
on those state governors,
federal government wants you to build the roads up to a certain standard.
Yeah.
So if you can maintain that, why can't they also, you know, chip in their own bit to make life easier for their people? But now that the youths have taken it upon themselves to protest about it, I think there's going to be another one tomorrow. I heard there might be another protest around that axis tomorrow. Now that they're done that, maybe this road, this east-west road, will get the attention that it actually deserves.
Okay, so moving on from that, something that just popped in now as the court again has ordered the DSS to release remember the Buhari must go protesters that were arrested at Dunamis Church?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have been ordered to release them.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one for them. I just pray that there are two particular young men that I've seen in pictures of them. They were the ones arrested in Kogi State. A few days after they are released, they were arrested in Abuja. I pray that they're not arrested again, because it's just like becoming like a career thing
it's
now.
It's a thing, and I'm like,
look,
okay.
You have a right to protest, you have a right to do all of that, but please make me use sense too.
Exactly. And before we go, we're like almost out. Ogun State, we know that there were elections over the weekend. Lagos State, a few of Lagos results are out here and there, but officially all 20 local governments in Ogun State was won by the APC, and the the Independent Electoral Commission in the state has presented the certificates of return to the newly elected chairman.
Yeah, congratulations to the winners. And you talked about the PDP complaining about
that was in the that was for Lagos State, so we don't know. And you know why I'm not too surprised about what the results that came out in Ogun State. Just last week we heard that there was a lot of back and forth in the camp of PDP. There was a factionalization, and let's be honest with ourselves, that already has divided your votes. It has already, one side says they're not going to vote, another side says, and it happens a lot. You see from the national to the state level to the local government level, and you're like, okay, when are we going to ever like sit down and just have sense? But anyway, moving on finally, And before we go, a federal high court in Abeokuta again today has issued an interim order barring the federal government from accessing unclaimed dividends of the capital market shareholders worth more than 200 billion naira.
Yeah, a lot of people, when the federal government made this announcement some months ago, a lot of people kicked against it. Some people felt it was okay. That these are funds that basically will just be lying down in some bank somewhere anyway, and you can actually put them to good use and all of that. If the court says they can have access to it, if it's not the Supreme Court, maybe the federal government should take it up, because really and truly these funds are just going to be sitting down doing nothing, and 200 billion and above will do a lot for Nigerians if spent properly and spent in a way that it will benefit Nigerians.
That you get, and I'm sure that that's probably a lot of people's fear.
Yeah, that is government not just going to take this money and
we're just not back to square one
funny person's pocket.
Exactly. And then okay, I think we still have time for like one more story. As the federal government, the national identity policy for the SIM card registration, they have moved it now. They've moved the deadline to 31st of October 2021. I didn't even know there was a deadline to SIM card registration. But looks like they've been moved.
You know that they are threatening that they were going to stop SIMs working.
They did.
And all of that.
No, that was for NIN. SIM registration, that's what we're saying. SIM card registration. They stopped it for a while. And I know they started again, but I didn't know that there was I thought that we were just
I was trying to establish that, they had said that they were going to stop SIM cards from working if you don't have NIN and everything. So there's no pronouncement that is made about SIM cards now that is devoid of some NIN involvement and NIN. So for me, it's back and forth. SIM registration should be an ongoing concern. We should never have a deadline to SIM registration.
I'm wondering too,
what you should talk about is maybe existing SIMs. You have a window to quickly register and all of that. But when you say you're supposed, I don't know. I think this one, I hope they thought it through, but I don't think it's necessary to put a deadline on SIM registration.
SIM registration. Like today was the first time I'm like, okay, really? I didn't even know that happened. But now the Lagos State Environmental and Special Offences Enforcement Unit has today issued a 3-day removal notice to all owners of makeshift structures, shanties, kiosks, and vehicles at Maroko, Lekki Coastal Road.
Okay, is that the place where they want to build the new
Lekki Free Zone? It's the road that is supposed to lead to the Lekki Free Zone, and said that it has been dotted with illegal structures and all sorts of things, and they're giving them 3 days, or else everything is going to be bulldozed.
Well, I hope they're giving them other notice before this 3-day notice. That's on the part of government to be humane. Then on the flip side, why build on?
Let's be honest.
Land
those
that
things
is not approved.
They're not approved. They're saying that on expiration of removal notice on Thursday, officials of the agencies will remove all structures, all abandoned vehicles, materials, shanties, and structures, everything along that road.
Okay.
Because this is always my problem.
There's going to be a lot of hue and cry now.
Can we just, everybody goes on about it, but in the first place, we overlook these things, but we all know that they're actually illegal.
Yeah.
They're illegal structures. So anyway, that's all we're able to take today on the Boombar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow with another wonderful edition of the Bar. But we can also catch a repeat of this at 7 p.m. West African time. But from us to you,